Welcome, everyone. This brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host, Albert Cita. So if you guys are watching us on YouTube, you notice we're a little separated right here. Usually Albert and I record this in the same studio, but Albert's a little under the weather right now, so we're just being a little safe. Nothing serious really is going on in the news, but you know how it is. We just like to, Albert was trying to say, hey, you know what, I'm not feeling too well, but let's still do the show anyways. So we're here live, virtually together, via Zoom. We've all used to this in 2020, right? This kind of remote show type thing. So whether it be work or school or even a podcast. So we're doing it this way this week. We want to get back to you guys. We missed last week because Albert and I are still working on a project that we have hopefully some announcements for you guys pretty soon. It's nothing related to mixed martial arts or professional wrestling, but like Albert said last week, if you guys want to check out our other side projects, go to Off-Cedar. Follow us on primarily on Instagram. So go to Off-Cedar right there. Off-Cedar Productions. Look us up. We're right there. So you kind of see our past work. We got some new stuff coming in. So Albert, aside from not feeling 100%, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Right off the bat, I just want to say, safety first. So other than that, I've been good, man. The Bulls finished their preseason undefeated, which I love. And I don't know what else I can ask for other than that.
How about the Dodgers tying the series?
Oh yeah,
and
there was that
on the Giants. You could ask for that, can't you?
Oh, you bet. What?
So at that,
real quick, I went to the Dodger Stadium. Oh, did I just get super loud? So I just went to the Dodger Stadium to do their watch party there. I got a replica championship ring, bro.
Just for showing
up? Yeah, just for showing up. We might have to put that up on our Instagram. It's so cool.
That's kind of cool, man. For show love to all the Dodger fans out there, and to show all the Dodger haters that might be following us as well, man. So MLB playoffs are off to a pretty good start. It's a little confusing because you got TBS and Fox Sports, then FS1 is in there. So I wish they had a little more kind of down pat.
Dude, those TBS announcers suck. Can I just put that on record? They suck.
I don't even know who it is. Who are they? I think
I don't know, but
I know it's Ron Darling for the Dodgers game. I haven't seen anything else, but A-Rod was kind of hard to listen to for ESPN a little bit, but I think you can tell they're trying to go for the NBA type of vibe, right, with the whole post-game stuff. And I do enjoy seeing Pedro Martinez out there. I think they got Curtis Granderson and Jimmy Rollins this year. Gary Sheffield, he was a part of it before. He's no longer there anymore. But the consistent has been Pedro Martinez. So that's kind of cool. But I think they'll kind of get their footing a little bit. They're trying to – if you notice the kind of mantra now is like baseball is fun. So they're trying to hype up the personalities and the shenanigans that go on the dugout to show that these players have swag and it's fun to watch. Baseball, it's not a boring sport. So
I guess that's one angle to approach it.
Yeah, it's swag. So – I mean, we were off last week to kind of switch gears and talk about the little professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. Still, is it just me or is not much going on in the world of MMA, Albert? We've had two kind of so-so fight nights.
Yeah.
Bellator. Michael Page is a new welterweight champion. But
in all honesty, I think all the other sports and other combat that's going on, UFC knew to kind of pull the reins back, especially because they have a big pay-per-view around the corner. I think they felt that they didn't have to beef up some of their events. There's just too much going on, with baseball, basketball. You had the heavyweight matchup that just happened. So there's so much going on that I don't blame them. You might as well put all your eggs in one basket because you're gonna ask for $70. So you might want to build that up.
That's a good point. Yeah, and obviously with college football, that's big around the country as well. Real quick before we get started, your thoughts on the heavyweight championship boxing between Tyson Fury and Wilder. Tyson Fury, is he the best heavyweight in the world now in terms of boxing?
Yeah. He's the undisputed champion. He has to go up against the guy that just beat Joshua, and then he can be declared the greatest heavyweight of our era, at least. It was a good matchup, back and forth. I don't know. I expected more out of Wilder, but at the end of the day, Tyson Fury, he's the champ for a reason.
Yeah. So congrats to him. Talking about boxing in a good way. It's nice to have a boxing being talked about on social media and the news that doesn't appall involve one of the Paul brothers or a Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week's show is, before we get started on the rounds, this week's show is brought to you by Foxhound Fuel. Go to foxhoundfuel.com, get yourself one of or all three of their workout formulas. They have a ready natural pre-workout, a hydration during workout formula, and a recovery post-workout formula. So it's a pre-workout, a during workout, and a post-workout recovery formula for you to get on top of your fitness journey and stay on top. It's 3 great flavors. Their ready workout has no jitters, clean energy. It's all the recovery enhancements you needed. It's all great. And they're natural hydration. You drink it during your workout to, maintain your hydration, maintain your strength, replenish yourself, especially if you're just drinking water. It has some flavor to it as well. I know some people just like that, people get bored with just water, so that's good when you're working out. And the post-recovery formula, which Albert is a staunch preacher of, turmeric-infused strawberry lemonade flavoring. It's great tasting. It helps you recover, gets you ready for your next workout. Go to foxhoundfuel.com, enter promo code 5MMA for your opportunity to get 25% off your order. It lets them know that we sent you there. It's going to help them, it's going to help us, and guarantee it's going to help you as well. And if you aren't too sure, like Albert, you always say, man, they're giving away free sample packs of each one, of each of the
shipping is free too. So like you take no risk, but to just try it. It makes no sense to me, especially I'm talking to people in our age group, bro. Quit lying to yourself. You need some help. Get some help, bro.
Yeah, you can't get out of bed and do it anymore, man. You need as much help as you can. I don't want to say what our age is, but people can guess.
You know what? 28 guys.
That's the stuff that Albert collects here. I see a Gargoyles toy in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna.
You gotta be a certain age group to talk about that.
Yeah, right? I guess we could do this before we kick off the show, just because I think we're not gonna have a jam-packed show today, just because the news has been so popping. But real quick, let me just show you real quick.
Yeah. Albert showed his Gargoyles.
I went and got.
Wow.
The Gargoyles NECA. They came out with, of course, Goliath first. And so this is the first in the line. Gargoyles. Dude, I was a huge fan. This figure is incredible. The next one up is the girl, the demon chick. And then the clone of Goliath is after that. So, sick figure, bro.
Gargoyles, that's a pull. One of the greatest animated series of all time. Looking back at it now, super mature for a kid.
Oh no, 100%.
7, 8.
When I look back at some of the stuff I saw, I'm like, I don't think my parents are really filtering what I was watching.
Yeah, as long as you just stay out of trouble, that's all they cared about.
Yeah. And
then also, this week's show is brought to you by Wildbar, the protein bar for wild energy. Go to wildbar.co, enter promo code 5-round MMA 15 for 15% off your order. Wild Bar is nutrient dense food bars, nutrition bars. It's more than a protein bar. It's natural flavors. They got 3 great flavors: hemp hearts and cherry, hemp hearts and blueberry, and hemp hearts and pineapple. If you need that midday or mid-morning snack to keep you going, clean ingredients, all natural ingredients, Wild Bar will get that done for you. Again, it's local ingredients that is processed and served in all of their bars. Again, cherry, blueberry, pineapple, all 3 are infused with hemp hearts. It's natural food. It's good for you. It's clean energy. Go to wildbar.co. Again, promo code 5-round MMA 15 for 15% off your order. Again, lets them know lets them know that we sent you. It's going to help them out. It's going to help you out. It's going to help us out. Help everybody out. You know what I mean? Wild Bar, Foxhound Fuel, a big thank you to both of them for presenting this show. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Albert, man, we got a lot to talk about in the world. Wrestling has been nonstop craziness since what? CM Punk came to AEW?
Bruh, yeah, it's just been like news after news after news after news after news.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing that we switched this form. The early few seasons of this 5-round MMA was just strictly mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
With a little bit of bleeding of professional wrestling. And that's because when we first started this podcast, it was just WWE, and it wasn't. I left a lot to talk about, right? But now with the AEW, we thought, you know what? Let's get some professional wrestling talking because there's a ton to talk about. It's a subject that we both love. I mean, we were wrestling fans before we were MMA fans, and MMA purists may not like it, but Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Bobby Lashley,
Paige.
Jack
If you want to get closer to the timeline,
now,
it looks like George Mazadov is going to have a huge spot in AEW.
American Top Team. We're hearing about Paige Van Sant, Jorge Masvidal, Junior Dos Santos, Vitor Belfort are all making appearances in AEW television. Guess what? They're mingling. You got Gable Stevens, who's going to go to MMA, go to professional wrestling. What's he going to do? He picked professional wrestling first, but doesn't mean he might not be in MMA sometime soon. So it's a cold mingling here, which is why we talk about both here. And plus, we just love talking about professional wrestling. It's good, and we like pissing off the marks. Is that right, Albert?
Love it.
Our fellow marks, by the way, we are marks.
Yeah.
As well. So round number 1. Let's get started here with the 2021 WWE Draft. This has kind of been a staple since they did the brand split.
Which I am not a fan of anymore.
Of the brand split or the draft?
No, the brand split.
Why is that?
I just feel like there's too many good matchups in WWE right now that they're not taking advantage of. I get the whole part of, competition kind of, but at the time there was no competition, so it made sense to compete with themselves. Now I think it's all about matchup and stories, and I think why limit yourself? Especially when you have two big companies that are already complaining about the ratings. Why does Fox get this? Why does USA get that? You kind of want to please them both.
That's true. So you're saying that WWE's only hurting themselves with the brand split, right?
Yeah.
It's almost too depleted, right? The rosters. Or they have a lot of people on the rosters, but do they have enough stars to carry two separate shows completely?
Yeah. I don't think so. I like the whole idea of the draft. So maybe I don't even know how you could put it together where maybe some, let's say every other Friday is combined Friday and every other Monday is combined Monday, kind of switch it up a little bit and you still have the draft. But I just feel like they're hurting themselves by limiting some of these matchups and storylines that can be potentially made.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine back in the Attitude Era, The Rock and Stone Cold on separate shows? That'd be weird, right?
Not only would it be weird, I don't think no one would ever watch that.
Yeah, because they fit off each other.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley need to be on the same show, and Drew McIntyre and all those guys will, the elevation of the talent will all bring everybody up. So I don't know, but I kind of want to focus on the draft here, especially for me was the SmackDown side of things, because Monday Night Raw is going to be Monday Night Raw. They really have no competition other than football when football season comes out. But now with AEW Rampage on Friday night, there's a little bit of bleed over. We'll talk about this Friday coming up. There's going to be a ton of, at least a half an hour bleed over for sure, where SmackDown's going to go into Rampage. But I think that maybe the WWE had a little more focus on SmackDown, just in case, what if Rampage, because of moved time slots, they still got their big dogs on that one. And, of course, the biggest dog of them all, Roman Reigns is still on SmackDown. Charlotte Flair moved from Raw to SmackDown. Drew McIntyre moved from Raw to SmackDown. The New Day is on Raw now, I think, right? Or they're on SmackDown. No, they're on SmackDown now.
And Big E's over there at Raw now, right?
Raw now, yeah. Hit Row, NXT is now on SmackDown. So they're going for a little more urban feel, right? A little more diversity on SmackDown, which I like. Naomi, got Jeff Hardy on SmackDown. Aaliyah, Drew Gulak, Mace, Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, and Tony Storm. Just to name a few. The Usos are on there as well. Sasha Banks is on SmackDown. King Nakamura stays on SmackDown. Sheamus moves to SmackDown. Shayna Blazer moves to SmackDown. Viking Raiders move to SmackDown. Ricochet moves to SmackDown. Angel Garza and Roberto Carrillo move to SmackDown. Cesaro stays on SmackDown. And Sami Zayn stays on SmackDown.
It almost sounds like all the guys that can have work rate matches went over to SmackDown, which is more what AEW is. They're more of a work rate company, and it seems like that's what they're leaning towards. Like, yeah, they can put up phenomenal matches, but guess what? So could we, because we just stacked up our work rate match right here. I mean. You can literally pick blind from there, and 2 of those matches can give you 5 stars.
Yeah, even though now Finn Balor's going to Raw from this past Friday, they had Cesaro versus SmackDown. Is that not a Mark's wet dream right there?
Dude, super.
Is that not almost Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega? Almost.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the biggest anticipated match, but yeah, it's up there.
But as far as work rate, right?
Work rate, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So you think what? You think now WWE has no really issues really with kind of, hey, Rampage, they're going to throw CM Punk versus somebody out there. They feel confident throwing, maybe Roman Reigns versus a Jeff Hardy match on a Saturday, on a Friday. But also, too, I think, is it pretty much every Rampage has at least a featured women's bout now, right?
That's what it seems to be trending, or at least what they're trying to do,
so
which I like.
You got Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks on SmackDown. I mean, they tend to go with Charlotte as their big dog on the women's side here. Do you think she'll bring some eyes to maybe compete with a DMD on Friday nights if AEW says, hey, you know what, we're gonna have Britt Baker in the main event? Is SmackDown going to have Charlotte in the main event?
It'll be interesting to see, and that would be a very interesting, I guess, competition.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So out of that, who do you think won the draft out of both of them?
100% it was SmackDown, dude.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I think they're catering towards SmackDown just because it's on the bigger channel, which is Fox. They carry the ratings between Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown usually has the higher ratings. So I think they're just trying to cater to that since it's the more successful one, bigger network. And to tell you the truth, I think there's an exit plan here from USA. I don't think I will be shocked if Raw stays in USA after their next contract.
3 hours is too rough, man. I know the WWE likes it because it's the advertising, an extra hour advertising, but a 3 hour show every week, it's never been done. It's not even on a scripted show, man. You can't only throw so many 20-minute matches out there, and it gets rough. It's a hard to watch for sure.
But guess what, though? You know what else is tough? Seeing a 1 hour wrestling show.
yeah, that's true.
I feel like I'm missing something.
That's true. All right, that's it for round number 1. We're going to come back, switch gears, talk about the UFC heavyweight title picture. Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gagné has finally been announced here. We're going to talk about that and maybe if John Jones is officially done in that too. So we'll try and incorporate some John Jones in there because it's a heavyweight division. We have to talk about him. So that's coming up next in round number 2.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 2. Let me get this timer started here before we get going. Timer started. UFC Heavyweight Championship bout between Francis Ngannou, the true champion, versus Cyril Gagné, the interim title. Unification bout is going to be set for UFC 270 on January 22nd, 2022. I don't know if this lines up with any court dates for John Jones here, but it's finally set. Remember, they wanted Francis Ngannou to fight what? Whenever Cyril Gagné won his bout, he said, "No, I'll be ready by September or October-ish. I'll be ready." No, can't do it, man. We can't. UFC said, "No, we need you now." So thank you. We're gonna go with the interim title between Cyril Gagné and Derek Lewis. Gagné wins that one. Now Francis Ngannou is gonna fight in January. Do you think now it's because, hey, you know what? I've waited. We'll wait this long, or it's just because the UFC says, "No, we're done through the rest of the year. We'll have you guys in January." Or you think Cyril Gagné has some input in this announcement for January?
Nah, 100%. This sounds more like a timing thing. Again, you always want to have a big show to start off the year, and the way their pay-per-view structure is now, you kind of have to secure some events. That's one I think they feel like they need to secure, and what better way to do it with the heavyweight champ. And at the same time, too, I mean, it gives both of these guys are technically international stars. I feel like when it comes to international fighters, the buildup has to be a little bit bigger or longer, or really like get the marketing behind it. For some reason, I feel like it's always like that. Whenever you get like an international fighter, they almost have to like sell it just a little bit more.
That's true, to get the attention of people in France or people
Exactly.
in where Francis is from. So that kind of makes sense because MMA is super popular here and the UFC is super popular where you can just announce the fighters and people know it's happening already. Or we us, we talk about it 3 months in advance. But again, so you're thinking this happens in January. If it's a clean fight for both fighters, nobody comes out super hurt. They may be ready to go back in late spring, so like June, or maybe they save them for July, International Fight Week 2022. What's your best guess on John Jones fighting in July of next year for the championship?
Man, this is so tough because how many times have we criticized Conor McGregor for holding up a division?
Yeah,
tons. And for us to say like John Jones off the hook, I think it's ridiculous. The guy shouldn't hold up the division. In all honesty, even though Stipe got knocked out and Ngannou was the clear winner, I mean, you got to give him another chance, right? You got to give him a break. So I feel like whoever Stipe or Miocic fights, the winner there should be booked whenever the winner out of Francis and Ghinnou can fight again. To tell the truth,
let me bring up who's even a possible opponent for Stipe now because he's beating everybody. I mean, off the top of your head, who do you think that go? Who's the heavyweight he could face? Right?
You're right? Not. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not gonna say. And even the guys that are up and coming are, again, it's the heavyweight division. 1 win, 1 loss. 1 win, 1 loss. So-and-so beat so-and-so, but then so-and-so beat so-and-so. And it's just a vicious cycle. And it's tough. It's tough.
I mean, Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, Volkov. If you just want to... Volkov's ranked number 5 currently by the UFC.
Why Volkov and Stipe?
I like that fight because it'll prove that Stipe I can still beat the top 5. And for Volkov, man, it's a win-win, dude. Like I get to fight the former champion, arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time. Make that happen. If that happens, then it's gonna. They heard it from us, Albert.
Yeah.
And you got Tybura out there lurking. He just entered the top 10 as well. But I think I see him fighting like Derek Lewis before he fights the likes of Miocic first. Don't you think?
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, going back to John Jones, I already talked about it a couple weeks ago, but it didn't seem like Dana White and the UFC were too pissed off at him. Just like, well, it's John Jones. This is what happens. That makes me think that as long as everything clears out legality, he's good to go next year, next International Fight Week in July 2022, which I think
it sounds to me like they can't have it in Vegas though. So
yeah,
we might see this in Texas, maybe Florida, but maybe. If I was a betting man, they go to Arizona. You gotta take them to because you gotta take them where someone can constantly watch them. Right, his camp's out of Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Or
New Mexico.
New Mexico, but Arizona's right there.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. You gotta be able to control
John Jones can handle the desert. He just can't handle Las Vegas.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So.
All right, that's it for round number 2. We're going to still talk about mixed martial arts and talk about Triple C wants to come back and become a triple champion in the UFC. He's been vocal about it. See if it can happen. We're talking about that next coming up.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 3, I believe. Timer started here. So we're sticking in the world of mixed martial arts, UFC. So we talked about a couple weeks ago, Alexander Volkanovski takes a unanimous decision victory over Brian Ortega. Still kind of, I mean, there's Mad Max out there waiting for Volkanovski. I think that fight makes sense. Some other guys out there in the featherweight division, but a name that kind of, he throws himself out there a lot. Triple C, Henry Cejudo. Granted, on Twitter, pretty much the night of, said, hey, Dana White, I'm going to take Volkanovski, the Avenger's soul. And Volkanovski kind of took offense to that, saying, you know what, he thinks he can come and do that. He's not going to do that. And Henry Cejudo took back and forth, says, I'm not going to come in and cherry pick like GSP did, and just because I'm going to pick an easy fight like Michael Bisping and capture another title. He's all, I want to challenge. Henry Cejudo's saying that, hey, I want to come up to fight at 145. When you think the guy fought at 125, won his first UFC gold to come and to do that. But in all fairness, Albert, it's because, don't get offended here, but Volkanovski is on the end of the spectrum when it comes to tall champions, right? He's not the tallest guy in the world. Yeah. So maybe is that why Henry Cejudo thinks he could sneak one and get one past Volkanovski, become a 3-division champion in the UFC, the first ever?
Yeah, so 2 big things here, which is actually 2 small things. Yeah. One, when you look at Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, even the Korean Zombie, these are very lengthy guys in this division. Volkanovski technically has a similar frame to Henry Cejudo, so I can see why that's a matchup that he feels is winnable. And the second thing is, most of the fights Volkanovski has taken place and we've seen him flourish is technically on stand-up. I mean, when it went to the ground, clearly Brian Ortega had the advantage, but we didn't really see him go to the ground that often. Same thing with the Max Holloway fight. So with these 2 things, I feel Henry Cejudo is being serious. I think he has a chance there because of these 2 big things. I would also like to point out that he has a new nickname. It's C4, baby. And if C4 doesn't start sponsoring Henry Cejudo now, man, you guys are stupid, bro.
Yeah.
I bought this just because Henry Cejudo said it. No, C4, baby. That's gonna be his new nickname.
Man, if he pulls it off, he's probably the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. Olympic gold medalist.
I don't know how
3-time division.
You can argue
division champion.
If he can beat Volkov, dude, there is no way you can't argue that he is pound for pound the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
We've had two weight division champions before, right? Mm-hmm. We've had a Olympic medalist become a champion. Never, ever have we had someone that's Olympic champion and 3 division champion in different weight classes. Dude, never. There's no way. Even the only guy that could probably come back and do it is GSP, but we know he's not going to do it.
Yeah, he would have
to. There's no way he's going to go to 205.
No, or I don't think he would want to make 155.
Yeah. This is perfect. And I'll tell you right now, I feel like I have the same frame as Henry Cejudo, so I know for a fact that he can fight at 145.
Out Henry Cejudo?
No, trust me, I ain't stupid. I will never call out Henry Cejudo. I'm just saying he can make 145.
Yeah. I know Cejudo's retirement kind of came abruptly. Do you think he's getting that itch, or is this more promotion for him, for his brand, for his podcast?
No.
I mean, even though he retired abruptly, he's making more noise outside of fighting with his. He's still the king of cringe. His podcast with Mike Tyson is really good. Like I said, he's still getting advertising. Is this just him getting hey, but I'm here, like Conor McGregor's doing every once in a while, just calling somebody out or?
No, I honestly think this one's 100% legit. If people forget, Henry Cejudo's been competing since a kid. So
that's a good point.
Once you become a 2 weight divisional champion, that chip on your shoulder kind of leaves. Like, in all honesty, what did he really have to prove by sticking around another tough year, especially now when COVID hit? There was no reason for him to really return. He destroyed Tito Dillashaw. He clearly won against Mighty Mouse, who's not even in the division anymore. So what else? In all honesty, the guy had a well-deserved break. He's still young. It's not like we're seeing pictures like Khabib where he's clearly not staying in shape. Henry Cejudo looks just as jacked as ever. He looks fit. He still does his wrestling tutorials, which it looks like he's still hitting the gym. So I think he's like GSP. He never really left the game. He just mentally left.
I hope he comes back. I think it makes sense for the UFC to do that. I know, especially now, like you said, why would he not fight in 2020 when there's no crowds? Now, we're seeing depending on what state you're in, there's full capacity or what. So get that gate money, get that pay-per-view money. I think he has a little. Yeah,
he has a little Cejudo coming in. So
little champion coming out. So he maybe needs that extra nursery money, right? So it's gonna be all part of the plan. I like it.
Private school is expensive, bro.
We need more personality in MMA. I like it. So that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break, come back and enter the championship rounds. It's going to be hardcore wrestling right now, man. AEW versus WWE's firing up. Could we see, Albert, the first of the Friday Night Wars coming up this Friday?
I hope so.
You ready for it? Coming up next, we'll talk about that. Round number 4.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back. Time for round number 4. Shout out to, I don't know if you, from what I hear online, she's not a very good person, Tessa Blanchard. She is returning to the Woman of Wrestling. Is coming back with AJ Lee, or what's her real name? I forget.
But
Mendez,
she's coming as a producer, right?
Mendez Brooks, right? Which is good. Another promotion.
/ she's also going to be an announcer, too.
Oh, is she? Yeah, so I know there's a big hoopla of where Tessa Blanchard's going to end up, but she is end up on a little bit of the outskirts. Maybe she needs to kind of clean up her reputation first, and then maybe the other one's going to knock them. But anyways, round number 4. Can you talk about it?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick. I think it was the smartest move for Tessa Blanchard to do, because the whole point was she doesn't play well with others, specifically other women. So if she's in an all-women organization, this is the only way to clean up whatever people have been saying about her. And I think if she does a slam dunk in this organization and there's some positive stuff to it, I think the opportunities are unlimited afterwards. So yeah, I think it was a smart move. I really do think it's a smart move.
Yeah, I like it. Time will tell. And another promotion to watch, so I'm excited for it. So round number 4, what we're really for here, timer starting here this Friday, Albert. This Friday, October, it's going to be the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
The first night of the Friday Night Wars.
Woo!
We had the Monday Night Wars. That's over. We tried to have the Wednesday Night Wars.
And we clearly had a loser.
Yeah, and now we're having the Friday Night Wars. How is this possible, you ask? Well, thanks to the MLB playoff picture going on now. WWE Smackdown is going to be forced to move to Fox Sports 1, while Fox is going to be carrying the MLB playoffs, but they announced it's going to be a Super Smackdown event, which is going to be 2.5 hours, which means that final half an hour is going to bleed into AEW Rampage, which, by God, happens to be a live version of AEW Rampage.
Not pre-taped.
Not pre-taped like it's been before. Tony Khan is hyped for it, man. He tweeted out, I saw WWE, doing a half-hour head-to-head with us. I can't wait to finally beat your main show head-to-head. It's been a long time coming. See you next Friday. Hashtag AEW Rampage on AEW TNT. I assume that he's talking about is the WWE, or maybe Vince McMahon or Bruce Pritchard or something like that, or maybe Triple H, or maybe Nick Khan. I don't know who it is. But your thoughts on this really quick. The SmackDown is going to be coming back with, I think Brock Lesnar is going to be making an appearance. They're doing their King of the Ring tournament still, and the Queen's Crown tournament still. So that's kind of people watching a little bit. What's AEW going to counter with? CM Punk, right?
Of course. Go with the cash cow. But the only thing,
only half an hour. But what do you think? It's half an hour to start something.
I like it because, in all honesty, I think someone's going to get a reality check. I think if AEW does good in the demographics, not in the overall range, if they do good in the demographics, I feel that's going to mean something to WWE. But if WWE just straight out kills them, I think he also is going to check AEW and be like, look, you guys need a story tell, not just put on good matches.
Yeah, so, we're going to talk about the next round too.
And if you think about it, that's a good thing. It's a good thing for one of these guys to get a reality check. One needs to put on more quality matches, while the other one needs to put on quality storylines. Yeah. So there's something that they both need, and the only winner here is the fans.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're getting at here to that. Speaking of the demographics, that's getting insane. Wrestling fans, it's all like Nielsen and stuff.
Alex,
I know.
It's about purchasing, bro. Come on. Everybody, Kylo does not buy at Target. I buy at Target. Okay, so my demographic matters. Kylo's doesn't.
I don't know who it was. It must have been like a retweet or something like that on my Twitter feed. But some guy All power to him, man. If I don't know who you are, I'll try to find who you are. But he's doing a Patreon. He's breaking down the ratings and the demos like charts. And if you guys want in-depth analysis on what he's doing by the numbers, you can do his Patreon and see what age group is doing what on Dynamite, on Smackdown, on Raw, on Rampage, and the quarter-hour numbers and all that stuff. I was like, good God, I just want good wrestling. I do not give a shit about the demographics, but that's where we're at now, right? It's argument. It gives people numbers to talk about if you're in this AEW versus WWE thing. There's this made-up war the fans have that gives you feel for whatever argument you have. I do want to give you a caveat, though. If SmackDown does come under that half hour against Rampage, it's because they're on Fox Sports 1.
Wow. Don't be setting up excuses already, bro.
Do you care? Do you know if your cable provider carries Fox Sports 1?
Of course they carry Fox Sports 1.
What channel is Fox Sports 1?
Fox Sports 1 is a premium channel that is carried with almost every cable provider. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this.
I'm not giving excuses. I'm going to watch both because I'm on the West Coast. So I can catch them both feed no matter what. But
no, Alex, this sounds like you're throwing excuses already. That's what it sounds like.
That's going to be the excuse everybody's going to have on the WWE side as well. They're on Fox Sports 1. The playoffs were going on there. There's a lot going on. People know what a channel. It's like when we got switched over from the Dog Show. Remember on Monday Night Raw? Dog Show. The one thing that preempted Monday Night Raw was the Dog Show. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, should be a good one.
Tony Khan's hyped for it. I think as long as he remains hyped, AEW is going to be a good product. He's still in, it's the honeymoon phase, I would assume, of running a company. I wonder if Vince goes back and maybe just reads some of Tony Khan's quotes or sees him in interviews and says, "Man, I remember when I was a kid like that. The whole
when I had ambitions, when I was buying the industry."
Yeah, I remember being that happy-go-lucky kid. You think he sees Tony Khan and says, "Yeah, I remember. I see myself a little bit of myself."
Yeah, I think it's hard not to.
So speaking of Tony Khan, he's going to be the subject for our next round. There's the rumors of him taking creative control from the elite. But those end up just being rumors, but we'll talk about that coming up next.
5-round MMA.
Welcome back, fifth and final round. So we touched about it. We talked about it. A touch base about it. Talked about it on our last show about how AEW is getting away with kind of inconsistent storytelling and booking by just having great matches.
Yeah,
I was still not a fan of the draw. I was still not a fan of the finish for the MJF Jericho match at All Out. Some other things don't really make sense, but if I bring it up, AEW fans are gonna, just talk all this crap, and there's always something for it. But it's great matches, so who cares, right? It's a great match. The guys are the wrestlers, the men, and the women are out there busting their butt, and they're having great matches. 3, 4, 5-star matches all around. It's a regular thing in AEW, but that doesn't mean they have great storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So it came out a couple weeks ago that the EVPs, who are the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega, right? Jericho is just telling. He's on the EVP.
Yeah. He just has a lot of influence.
That they got their creative control taken away from them by Tony Khan. It's been Tony Khan 100% recently. That was all must be with it last month or so. Mm-hmm. But Dave Meltzer came out and got the inside scoop. I wonder how he got the inside scoop.
He just called Tony. That's how.
Yeah, he said, Tony was over at my house. That actually it's been that way since December of last year. That Tony Khan's been the last one for creative control, so it's not a new thing or anything like that. And that Tony Khan says that since he took control, which Dave Meltzer says, since December of last year, he feels the product has gone a lot better. I don't know. Blood and Guts didn't really go off really well. Neither did the exploding barbed wire match. But hey, I'm not going to point fingers at Mr. Tony Khan here.
That was production.
Your thoughts here on Tony Khan's creative juices as a creative person yourself, Albert, as a fan of professional wrestling most of your life. How is Tony Khan doing here? He says he's doing the matches. He's doing the booking of the matches. Obviously, he's not telling the guys how to produce their match. It's up to them. But hey, Jericho, MJF, Jericho, you're going to go over, and it's going to be a weird finish. But everything in the middle is between you guys, and they're all the talent's free to have input on what they want. But it all goes through Tony Khan. So how is he doing since December of last year, Mr. Tony Khan?
So first off, you gotta understand my philosophy. I have always said, and Alex, I know you agree with me somewhat, is I think what makes Vince McMahon so good and why WWE stayed around this long is it was somebody from the outside that's not a professional wrestler running the thing. I think bookers in general have a big problem when it's a wrestler-based booker because they just have too much invested in it, and they don't see it by the numbers. They don't see it by a fan's perspective. A lot of these wrestlers are quick to be like, yeah, they're just a bunch of marks. That's what they don't know storytelling. They're just a bunch of marks. Who do you think watches your programming?
Marks.
Exactly. So they know what they like, right? Stop trying to act like you have one up on them, right? The greatest guy to ever run wrestling is not a pro wrestler. It's Vince McMahon is not a pro wrestler. He wasn't known for pro wrestling, right? And I feel like those make the best bookers for anything, whether it be wrestling, whether it be MMA. Dana White isn't an MMA fighter. The guy isn't a 5-time champion and whatever, right? Yeah. But what I'm trying to get at is they kind of have to separate themselves from the business. There's a little bit too much. They put too much of themselves into it, and I feel that's where they can run into big trouble. That's why most wrestlers or bookers usually book themselves champions.
Or their friends as champions.
Yeah,
right?
Because that's who they trust, and they have instead of picking the hottest wrestler, they're picking the one they trust the most. Which that doesn't make any sense to me.
Or who their boy is, right?
Exactly. So with that said, I do feel Tony Khan is doing the right thing by taking away some of the creative control and him doing it. Yeah, has he had bumpy roads? Yeah, but keep in mind, this is year one. Year 1, year 2, right? I don't know anybody that is, other than Orson Welles, that can knock it out of the park when it comes to storytelling.
First try.
Yeah, when it comes to storytelling on their first try. I mean, we're on our third, fourth project, and we're barely getting the reins of storytelling. The art of storytelling is a very difficult one. I feel a lot of people have ideas. It's the execution that makes it difficult. And for anyone to think that Tony Khan can just master it overnight, I think it's that's kind of a low blow. Especially again, like I said, the only example I can think of is Orson Welles. That lightning has to strike once, right? Even Vince. Let's go back to when he took over WWE. I wouldn't say it was a freaking home run right off the bat. I think it had a lot.
Bob Backlund was champion for years.
Exactly. I think it wasn't until Hogan came, and not even when Hogan came, it was just one of those crazy dumb lucks, to tell you the truth. There's just some, if you look back at the history, there's some dumb luck and some smart decisions that took place that caused WWE to go where it went. And not all of them were home runs. There were some stinkers along the way. So I'm totally fine the way it's going. It's getting better. I'm starting to see a little bit of more story being told. Stuff starting to kind of, not be forgotten, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Don't get me wrong. There's tons of work to be done.
Yeah. My biggest concern when AEW was first announced was the fact that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Cody were given these titles that were basically inflated titles. And I thought, okay, they found somebody who has the money in Tony Khan and is going to let them book however they want to book. Because, Albert, we have seen it and we don't talk about our experience on the indie wrestling scene. Albert, we're wrestlers or anything like that, but we've been fortunate enough to work with some promotions here in Southern California. They've let us do a lot of their multimedia stuff for them. So when we talk about our experiences, we're Marxists here too, but we've seen it. We've been in those meetings. Yeah. And we've seen booking meetings and stuff like that. We don't talk about it because I don't think it's, we don't really want to say that. We're fans first. So this is more of a fan reaction.
100%, yeah.
And Albert, we've seen it at the lowest levels of the indies. Once a wrestler is a booker, that guy is going to book himself as champion. It happens everywhere. And looking at the history of it happened. It happened in Impact. Remember when Bubba Ray was booker? He booked himself champion.
Adam Pearce in NWA.
Yeah. Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy.
they all book themselves as champions everywhere they go. And I thought to myself, okay, so now this is just AEW is just going to be a place where Cody can book himself as champion, the Young Bucks can book themselves as this unbeatable tag team, and Kenny can do whatever crazy thing he wants to do. And yeah, like you said, Tony Khan's still trying to find out who his storytelling voice is, and I think the bumps in the road that he has have not been so noticeable because these guys are having 5-star matches on a regular basis. Has the Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks been the best, tightest storyline in tag team history? No.
But was that cage match sick, bro?
Yeah, exactly. So could Kenny versus Daniel Bryan ended better and maybe built up a little more? Yes. But do you care? No, because it's a 5-star match, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's only going to get better if Tony Khan can separate. If he could be the boss and say, you know what? No, I don't want your idea is stupid, Cody. You're stupid. Get out of here. Specifically, Cody. Kenny, you're good. You're doing great. Bucks, keep doing what you're doing. Cody, get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie. Cody's in the hottest story right now, thanks to Arn Anderson. I think that's a very good story. I think it's if they do it right, it's probably going to be the storyline of the year for AEW.
Yeah, my actually biggest critique for Tony Khan's storytelling is Cody Rhodes and Jon Moxley. I don't know why he left. Get rid of those two and we'll be right. But I think, like you said, it's going to take him a while to find his voice and find exactly what AEW is, aside from just really great matches, which is great. But if you're going to get those casual fans back, man, they're going to want crazy storylines and great promos. I still can't think of a great AEW promo off the top of my head. Can you?
Wow, that is
other than like what MJF is like.
That's what I was just about to say. MJF has had some memorable and some vicious promos.
But
the Arn Anderson one about the Glock and everything, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but can Arn Anderson carry that momentum to the AEW Championship? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, again, this Friday is going to be super exciting. The Friday Night Wars for half an hour at least.
Real quick before we wrapped up, I mean, I think it's fair to say, what is your ratings on Roads to the Top?
I haven't even watched that show.
Stop, Alex. Wait. Don't lie here at 5 Round MMA. Just tell me your honest opinion on it.
I do not give one crap about Cody and Brandy Rhodes. And to think that whoever thought this was going to be a good idea to have a reality show of those two jabronis is ridiculous. So I'm sure Brandy Rhodes is a nice woman. And I just don't like Cody. I don't know what he sees himself as. So Rhodes to the top. They wish they were total divas. They wish they were total Bellas.
It's still better than The Miz and.
They wish that I hate to say it, but they wish they were The Miz.
Nah. They're better than it's better than that show at least.
I've never seen The Miz and Mrs. either, so I don't know. That's it for this week's show, Albert. Speedy recovery, man. Hope we'll be back in the studio next week. Thank you all for tuning in, listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications for our latest videos so you know exactly when they drop. Leave a comment here. Tell us how horrible we are. Albert's been called a clown, a comedian, so he likes that kind of stuff. So
not only do I love it, I'm still technically right. No one proved me wrong. All you guys did was just call me names, but no one explained why I was a clown.
If you're listening to us, thank you. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Wherever you get your audio podcasts, we're available. Make sure you keep up to date with us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at 5 Round MMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. I know Facebook's part of Instagram, but we don't mess around with that Facebook stuff, bro. We don't mess around with Facebook, so we're not on Facebook.
Cheating the algorithm. How dare you?
Exactly. Again, visit 5roundmma.com. To get your latest news and updates and stuff like that as well, or to check out our archives of our past seasons. A big thank you to Foxhound Fuel. Train hard, stay sharp. Go to foxhoundfuel.com. Enter promo code 5MMA for 25% off your order of their Ready Natural pre-workout, their Hydration Natural during workout, or the Recovery natural post-workout formulas, great energy, clean energy for you to get the best and most out of your workout recovery. It's foxhoundfuel.com. And a big thank you to Wildbar. Go to wildbar.co and enter promo code 5roundMMA15 for 15% off your order. Wildbar is the protein bar for wild energy, natural ingredients, local ingredients, 3 great flavors, cherry, blueberry, and pineapple, all 3 infused with hemp hearts. Go to wildbar.co. Albert, what do you got?
Just want to say a quick shout out to our sister podcast, Those Leprechauns. Make sure to check them out. At the same, and then shout out to one of our big time OG listeners, Jackson. I see you, dog. I see you hitting that like button. Shout out to Jackson. If you haven't given us a 5-star review on iTunes, please do. And yeah, thanks everybody for listening.
See you guys next week.